the reason that we're not seeing the church look like the church today is because the deacons and those who are in office in the church today do not have the qualifications. They're not spiritual. There is, as I've said time and time again, they have the spirituality of a box of rocks. That's why we don't see the koinonia, the fellowship, the eating, partaking of meals together in a church. We don't want, the deacons don't want to wait on tables today. They're too above that. They have lifted themselves up with pride and arrogance, or too ashamed to humble themselves and wait on tables today. Now that, and the same thing is true, we don't see them taking care of the widows and orphans. We don't have an orphanage. We don't have a widow's home where we put our elders in and are taken care of in our church, do we? We don't have we don't see the rehab being run by the church, let alone them giving any money to a rehab to finance it so that it can operate. Any of those things the deacons will oppose, and most churches and the officers they will oppose, as I've found time and time again with Celebrate Recovery. They will not fund us. They do not want us to be able to succeed in our work. They see our work as not promoting the church, which is not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be promoting Jesus and getting out the word of God. Grave. He should be a man of dignity, not double-tongued. A deacon should not be double-faced. A man's word should amount to something. It can be dangerous when a man tries to please everyone and doesn't have courage to stand on his own 2 feet. There is a fine balance between being a Mr. Milk Toast and being a dictator. The officer in the church needs to be somewhere in between the two. This is the problem with our pastors today. It's a political position that they must inhabit, which means they have to be two-faced. They play good cop, bad cop with you, allowing the blaming it on the board or the treasurer or somebody else whenever they're too milk toast to be able to stand up and say, "Well, we're not going to help you because I'm not spiritual enough to realize that has anything to do with Jesus." Not given to wine. I take this just as it is. The Bible teaches temperance, and that is important to see. I do not think the Bible teaches total abstinence because there weren't many medications in those days, and wine was used as a medicine. In 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 23, Paul encourages Timothy to use a little wine for his stomach's sake. Even today, many of the medications we take contain a high percentage of alcohol. The problem we encounter with alcohol in our day is the way it is used as a beverage. And I feel that the church should teach total abstinence because the abuse of alcohol is so prevalent. I do not believe that a Christian should use alcohol as a refreshment or a drink. Not greedy of a filthy lucre. That means that a deacon should not have an insatiable love of money. He should be a man of integrity and should handle the money of the church in an honest way. There is nothing that can hurt a church more than the accusation that the deacons are juggling the finances. Money given to the church for a specific cause needs to be carefully allotted to the intended cause. I have discovered in my experience in the ministry that most of the churches I know are run by men of high integrity, but it is that the small minority of dishonest men who are muddying the water and causing difficulty. If there is one thing a church ought to be able to present to the world is the fact that it is honest and holds a place of high integrity and in financial matters. And that concludes that section.